This is so cute.
Hello, manifestors. How are you? I'm so excited to be here today with a very special guest. So every single Wednesday, I come on and give you tools to live your life in purpose. Of course, we were doing the radio show and now we're doing it on Facebook Live. And even when we move platforms, it's always going to be about teaching you how to tap into your purpose. And so we've had people on this show talking about everything. Last week we had TJ Mercer on the show. We've had people talking about how to rebuild your life. We've had people telling their coming out stories. But I realized that I haven't actually introduced myself officially for the people who watch the Power and Purpose broadcast. So if this is your very first time catching Power and Purpose, hello, my name is Benir Pierre. I'm an intuitive life coach and manifestation mentor. I teach leaders to apply the principles of abundance to live a fearless and intentional lifestyle. That's always what you hear me say, but you never really actually get to see what that really means. And so today I'm super pleased to introduce one of my very first clients who is a powerful leader out here bossing things in LA. And we're going to talk about her journey, how we worked together, some of the things we did together, and how manifestation has really made a difference in her life. So, hey there, Ciara, how are you?
Hello, Benir. I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm so glad to have you on here. Like, I feel like this is a bit of a reunion of sorts. So they kind of get to see our reunion, you know? So for those who are new to the page or you haven't had a chance to watch some of the videos, essentially what I do is teach clients how to tap into their power of creation to create the life they desire. And so, like I said, Ciara actually was one of my very first clients. How long ago did we work together, Ciara?
3 years, over 3 years ago.
Right. I was gonna say, I feel like that was like longer than that. Goodness. And so she was one of the first clients that I worked with on manifestation. And so I want you to tell us a little bit about your journey prior to us working together. And actually, I guess before we really get into all of that, tell us what you do because you have an amazing company.
Yes, no problem. So again, guys, hi, my name is Ciara Lee. I am the founder and PR specialist for CEO Branding Agency. And what that is a small boutique firm. We handle public relations, media relations, and management for clients within the entertainment industry, whether that be fashion, film, or music.
Okay. Very nice. So when you and I met, you had just graduated college, or were you about to graduate?
I was about to graduate. So I believe we started working with each other April of 2014, April or March around that
Okay.
time. And I graduated May of 2014.
Okay. Okay. So tell me a little bit about what was going on at that time. What made you want to work together?
Wow. So at that time, obviously, I was in my senior year of high school, and I was in a long-term relationship at that time. And I just felt like I was harboring so many different emotions at that period, trying to get ready to graduate and trying to get my business off the ground. So my friend at the time was actually working with Benir, and she suggested that I speak to Benir, which I was so excited for, but it seemed like there were so many perks of working with her, besides just business, but also within the spiritual realm. So, I mean, I've always kind of been spiritual, but when I started, before I was introduced to Benir, the whole manifestation and things like that and vision boards, I wasn't really hip on before we connected.
Okay. So, which surprises me because I'm like, you are out here manifesting your whole life. I'm seeing you doing videos about manifestation. So, okay. So you were getting ready to graduate college, and you already had your business, right? What was going on with your business before we were working together?
So when the reason I decided to start CO branding agency is because since the age of 14, I had been managing hip hop concerts. So I was connected to a youth organization in junior high school, and the guy ended up starting his entertainment company, and he wanted to bring me along for the ride. And then it just ended up that I was his assistant. So when I got to college, I knew I wanted to do behind the scenes work. So that's how I got into PR. And my senior year, one of my classes, we had to put together a business plan for a business that we would want to create in the future. So CO Branding Agency was my project at that time. And then at that point, like, hey, why not, run with this? So that's where I came to that. And it was just something really small before we started working together. I had the simple necessities like the business cards, the website, all that little stuff. But actually putting it into action was where I kind of stumbled and needed your help. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the first assignments that we did, and it's so funny because I've had so many clients since we worked together, but I always remember your vision board.
Yeah.
And you decided that instead of drawing it, instead of using magazine clippings, you painted it, right? Do you remember that vision board?
So I have like 5 of them. So
right. I was going to say, I know you have a bunch now.
It's actually over here. That's the funny thing. But I did do a painting. That was one. But the first one I did, it was like a 3-fold cardboard thing, and I kind of did like a couple of clip outs with some drawings, but it wasn't nothing major because I'm like, it's my first time, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. So, what were some things you had on that vision board that you wanted to bring into fruition? Actually, before you answer that, when I told you that your assignment was a vision board, had you heard of a vision board before?
I had not.
What did you think when I assigned that?
I was like, what is this? Like, I'm like, they didn't teach us this at church.
You sound like everybody I work with. They're like, it's not in the Bible.
Yeah, so that was kind of where I was like, because like in hindsight, I guess us as humans, we manifest every day, but we don't realize it. But when someone is actually teaching you how to do it, it's like, wait a minute. And that's also during the time of making the vision board, but yeah.
Okay. So what were some things you had on that vision board that you wanted to manifest?
Oh my goodness. One thing is self-beauty, like personal beauty, like not being caught up in society standards of what is and isn't considered beautiful. I know I had manifesting kind of like my living environment. At that time, in college, I'm like, I'm ready to graduate. I'm ready to own my own house. So that was on there. And just being in tune with myself. So those are the things. Yeah.
Okay. So have you manifested those things?
Yes. Oh my God. Like 10. And you don't really realize you've manifested it until you go back and you look at it and you're like, this is what I was longing for. And now that I possess it, I'm like, oh my God, like, oh.
Okay. So tell me about, because you have done some amazing things. You have been on tour with Waka Flocka. You have, you were assisting J. Cole. So you have kind of, over the last several years, been this living manifestation. So tell me about what the journey has been like for you to speak what you want and then see it happen in your life?
Wow, I will say it has definitely been amazing. Just seeing God really work in my life, and bringing things to the forefront. But it has also told me that just because you manifest something, one, you're not going to get it how you think you're going to get it.
Yes.
Serious. Oh God, I got stories for days. Two, that does not cancel out life's ups and downs. Like, life is life. You're going to continue to experience hardships. But when you follow manifestations, you're able to get lessons out of those hardships. And at the end of the day, not necessarily hardships. They're just lessons for you to be better and be able to defeat those bigger giants that you'll approach, as you continue to grow in your career and in your life.
Absolutely right. And that is certainly one of the things that I teach, that manifestation does not stop life from happening.
Right.
Life is still going to happen. And manifestation really is about mastering yourself.
Yeah.
And so in just a second, we'll get into some manifestation tips, because I would love your help to teach the viewers how to manifest what they wish. But before we get into that, tell me about some of the most amazing things you've manifested.
Oh my goodness. I remember when we first did a manifestation list, and you told me to put like the simplest of the simple things. And on that list, I had like somebody, I manifest that somebody will pay a bill for me. I manifest that I'll, get an office for my company. But okay, real quick, the question again, what was it again?
What's the most amazing thing you've manifested?
The most amazing thing I've manifested is moving to California.
Yes, so tell us about that, because that caught me completely off guard. So y'all, when I met Ciara, she was this sweet girl living in Omaha, Nebraska. And you're still a sweet girl, honey. But she was this sweet girl living in Omaha, Nebraska, filled with so much light, so much power. And I don't even know if you quite saw it back then.
Yeah.
And then one day you were like, well, I've always wanted to move to LA and work in entertainment, so bye. So tell us about how that came to be, because you went there and you claimed it.
Yeah, seriously. So just kind of backtracking, when I was little, my mom, it's so funny, whenever she would go to the casino, she wouldn't tell me she was going to the casino. She'd say she was going to California. So in my I'm like, man, like I can never go to California with my mom. Like, I really want to go to California. So as I got older and then kind of started dabbling in the entertainment industry stuff, like we're doing concerts, I finally said, like, if I can master this in this small town and do this for so many years, I know that I can do it out there. Had never been to LA, had never been to California. And this artist that came into town, in Omaha, Nebraska, I had kept in contact with her. And in 2000, I want to say end of 2014, no, actually beginning of 2016, I reached out to her manager. And I said, hey, this is Ciara. I don't know if you remember me from doing the All-Star game last year, but if you need assistance in any way, just let me know. And that was on a Thursday. And he messaged me and said, yeah, so she has a music video shoot on Sunday. Can you be there as her assistant? Now, mind you, I'm in Omaha, and I'm like, I would love to, but I'm like, I don't know. But I didn't do that. So I'm just texting back, and I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. I can make it. Not having a clue of how I'm going to get to LA. So it had just turned out I had a standby pass that I never used. And I ended up flying out there on a Saturday night and then flew back out Monday morning. So I was there super quick. And at that moment, while I was there, I knew I had to be there. it was just, it felt like home. It felt like I was walking into my spirit. So throughout 2016, I continued to travel to LA, came out here for some conferences, came out here to connect with, you know, J. Cole's record label. And then I did some touring through the fall. And at that time, I had left my full-time job. So I had a chance to really push CL Branding Agency. Well, of course, sometimes you hit moments where you need more money than you're getting. And I came to that point, October of 2016. And I remember being in training at that job. And I just wasn't into it. I just wasn't feeling it. And I went to the restroom, and y'all, like, God has a way of talking to me. Like, I don't mean like just my own little voice. I mean, I can just hear it and I get all tingly. And I'm in the restroom, TMI, and he's like, it's time to go. And I'm like, what? And I literally said that in the bathroom. I'm like, what? It's time to go. And it was just like, it hit me. It said April 16, 2016. It's time for you to move. And I went back in that training room and I didn't listen to nothing that instructor said. I started creating a checklist of what I needed to move to LA. And up until that point, I just kind of tried to, you know, put on my list of what I needed to do. And the closer it got to April 16th, I was ready to go.
Yes, ma'am. And fly you did. Very proud of you. So I see we have a few people who have hopped on. Hi, Angela. Hey there, Gerald, Latasha, Alexis. If you're on, say hi. We love comments. We love interacting. And if you guys run into any questions or think of anything you want to ask Ciara as we are going along, certainly feel free to drop that as well. So you said that you went out there, you toured with J. Cole's label, and like what was your first thought? Because I mean, it's one thing for God to tell us what we're supposed to do, but then to actually take that step in faith and fly when sometimes we don't even see the wings, you know, sometimes it's a little scary. So you got out there. How did you continue relying on your faith and not fear?
Wow. So that is a great question. Oh, girl, yes.
And here she said, Latasha said, were you scared?
Yes, I was scared. And, you know, sorry, y'all, if I get long-winded. When I tell what I've been through, I want you to experience my emotion so you can feel what I felt. But have y'all ever, like, God has pushed y'all in a direction to do something and you like, yo, I don't even feel like I'm doing this. Like, I feel like I'm a puppet. Like, he's making me move and it's not making sense. That's
Absolutely.
how. So at the moment of me packing my car, my mom's like, "You really leaving?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm leaving." And I got in the car, and it's this song by Boss. He's actually under J. Cole's label. He has a song called Penthouse. And basically the song is about wanting to test faith, but also not wanting to hit the bottom and understanding that when you have faith, there are some things that has to be sacrificed, such as family, friends, and a whole bunch of other things. And I just remember listening to that song and I just started bawling. And I was like, Lord, please carry me. The only reason I'm doing this is because I feel like this is where I need to be. So as you say so, I'm going to go. And after I got over those emotions, I was just able to drive halfway across the country. Yes, I drove to California. But when I got here, you know, God did bring people in my life at the time to make my situation easier. But I think I was able to keep that faith and keep going because it was like, would you rather stay home and not move and constantly wonder what if, or would you rather have faith take that leap and jump and be able to say you did it, whether it worked or
Absolutely.
not. But in my mind, I'm like, this is not gonna not work. Like, I've always had a relationship with God, and me and my sister talk about this all the time. And she's on here. Everybody say hi, Alexis.
Hey, Alexis.
But we say this all the time. Like, there's nothing in life that we've asked God for that we haven't received. And I don't mean just material things. I mean like little things like being a kid, like, oh, when I grow up, I want to, graduate from college, or, little stuff like that. So that's what carried me through. But, every day there is a test, because I am in a completely different area. I'm around different people. People think a lot differently out here than they do back home. And LA is full of transplants. Everybody has a dream. Everybody wants to fulfill a purpose. Now it's up to you on how you want to do that, because LA can seriously swallow you up or propel you in a, higher direction. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to address something you said about fear, but being able to overcome that and understand that it's not going to not work. And so we just finished a 10K 10-day challenge, and girl, so since we have worked together, I was like, you know what, everybody about to get this manifestation. We just about to manifest all over the place. And so we just did a 10K 10-day challenge. Every single time we do that challenge, the average manifestation is at least $2,000 a person in 10 days. And one of the things that most people who've taken that challenge, as well as private clients, one of the things they say is that they're afraid, and that fear is what stops them. And so we have to have unwavering faith. And even Latasha just said that, fear is her worst enemy. You have to have that unwavering faith that no matter what, it's going to work out for your good, even if it doesn't look like you think it should. And so that's what I would like to talk about next. One of the things I teach when we talk about manifestation is that you have to trust the process, because a lot of people think that manifestation is you pointing, saying, God, this is what I want, and then you just get it. And a lot of times it does happen like that. I have my clients write out a manifestation list of the things they want to manifest. And so a lot of times you do manifest the things that you're asking for. But normally it doesn't always come through that door that you have wide open. Sometimes it sneaks in the window. Sometimes it comes around back, and so how do you learn to surrender during the process and just allow God to do God's work while you do your work?
Oh, wow. That can be hard. And I honestly, I'm still practicing that every day. I think I'm able to get through that by holding on to God's love. And by that, I mean just knowing that He's with you. Whatever belief system you have, whatever, just holding on to that spirituality. And sometimes you have to backtrack to understand what your future is. And part of that is you have to see how far you've come at this point in your life to know that you're going to receive what you want. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I would say keeping positive people around you, because I didn't realize how toxic people can be in your life.
Yes.
Until I came out here. And sometimes it's not blatant or in your face, because I'm telling y'all, there are people who will smile at you, who will spend 100
won't they do it
time with you, and internally they cannot stand you. They hate you. And you could be, giving your energy out to all these things that aren't reciprocating it towards you. So, yeah, I would just say, like, keeping the right people around you, keeping God with you, holding tight to your spirituality, and just looking back on your life and knowing that there's always going to be progress. Like, that moment can be so hard of wondering, what's going to be next. But if you think, at some point 6 years ago, I was going through something and I'm like, how is this going to turn out? This isn't going to be good. But then you look up and say, look where I am now. I was able to overcome it.
Absolutely. Okay, very nice. I love what you said about keeping positive people in your atmosphere. And one thing that we talked about, your cutoff game has to be strong. It does not matter, mama, daddy. If you are not good for my energy, then I can't afford to have you in my circle. And so one thing that I teach when we get into manifestation is that it's not always about what you think, because you can be thinking positive thoughts all day, but surrounded by toxic people. And so again, it's like casting your pearls before swine. And so you want to make sure that you're not just thinking positive thoughts, but that you feel positively. And part of that absolutely is based upon who you surround yourself with and who you have in your circle. How would you say your circle has changed from now to then?
It's a completely different circle. And honestly, at least since I started working with Benir, my circle has probably changed a good 5 or 6 times. And that's okay. Like, people forget that is okay. Like, truly, people truly do come in your life for a season. Sometimes that season might be a day, 2 weeks, a couple months, 2 years, 10 years. But there was something within that relationship that was needed, that you gave to that person, or that person gave to you, or, a lesson that you both learned out of it, learned from it. But I will say my circles changed drastically, especially when I moved to LA, because a lot of people assume that when you move to LA, like, you just got it all together. Like, they see the glitz and glamour of LA and they think that no, it's a normal town too. And people have everyday struggles out here just like they would anywhere else. But also too, when people see you trying to progress and be a better person, they take that as you changed. Well, yeah, I changed.
Right. Of course.
Like, I'm not supposed to stay the same. If that was the case, I would have never left. You know what I mean?
Right.
Your character will always stay the same, but when you grow, you see a lot of things for what they are. Your gift of discernment becomes a lot stronger. So with that, I have a very opening personality. I have a very welcoming personality, and I tend to look at people as innocent until proven guilty, rather than guilty until proven innocent. So I tend to let people in, and then, okay, you show me something a little shady or wishy-washy, then I completely cut you off. And then it's like, that person, oh, well, Ciara cut me off. She acting different. Like, no, like, you the one that caused this. But after a while, when you're able to just let people go and not harbor those feelings about, why that relationship ended, then the people that'll attract you, or you'll be attracted to, will be like-minded spirits. And those spirits that aren't for you, they'll see you and acknowledge you, but they'll also know internally that you guys aren't meant to be connected. So it'll just kind of wash itself away without you having.
You're absolutely right. And, a lot of times when we are on this journey up the mountaintop, there are some people who want to come with us. There are some people who want to support us, they want to take the ride, but it's not always, like you said, you have to use your spirit of discernment. And so it's not always about them being a bad person. Sometimes it can be someone who's an amazing person, but the energy is not a good fit for you. And so you have to be able to release that which does not serve you. You know, one of the quickest ways to manifest is to release what you don't need.
Right.
A lot of times we talk about manifesting in terms of receiving things, but sometimes you got to release some things, because how can you possibly bring things to you if your hands are full?
Right.
So how has surrender and release played a role in your ability to attract the things you want?
It's played a huge role. I'll give you guys I'll tell you guys kind of a short story of when it really showed up for me of having to let people go. So long story short, I had just got to LA. I had been here maybe 6 months, and I had a prophetess approach me and tell me about my life. And long story short, she said, the universe is feeding you with so many amazing things, so many amazing energies, but you're holding on to relationships that are toxic for you or toxic to you, and you're releasing that energy outward. And when she said that, I'm like, oh my God, so you're basically telling me like I'm getting all the essentials I need, but I can't flourish and I can't progress because I have all these burnt out light bulbs around my light, and now my light amongst all these other light bulbs, but they're not giving nothing back to me. So I'm just giving all of my power away. And at that point I was like, oh, okay, well, something definitely needs to change. And that's when I really started to hone in and focus on, okay, just because a relationship ends, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that person is a bad person. But at the end of the day, yes, we could die tomorrow. We could die at any time, but you have so much life to live. And would you rather just let those things go at the moment and be able to say, okay, well, look back in the future and say, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Because if I wasn't released from that, then I wouldn't have been able to gain this. It's kind of like, it's almost like a relationship. You know, if you're in a abusive relationship and you get out of that, then God is able to bring you the man of your dreams because you were taken out of that toxic situation. But if you continue in a toxic situation, how are you even able to get your blessing to stay in something that's so comfortable? So yeah, I just realized that I had to stop being comfortable internally. I'm not a comfortable individual when it just comes to, making changes through just daily life. Knowing that I get older because I'm supposed to grow. Like my age number changes because I'm supposed to grow. So yeah.
Okay, very nice. I love that. And I love that example you gave about you dispersing your light amongst all of these burnt out light bulbs. And so, a lot of times when we're on our way up this mountain, this proverbial mountain, we want to bring everybody with us and we want everybody to win. And sometimes we have to cut that cord, run up the mountain real quick, scout, find some food, find some water, make sure it's safe terrain, and then throw a rope down to help pull them up. Because us trying to carry them with us up the mountain, sometimes we don't make it up the mountain because they're dragging us down. How have you found... So, of course, we talked about how manifestation really is a mindset. Manifestation is all about mastering yourself, mastering your energy, mastering your emotions, and then using that energy for creation. Um, when we talk about manifestation, a lot of people think it's just the woo. It's the woo woo, sprinkling fairy dust. One of my favorite gifts to use is that guy he's sitting on the unicorn throwing the money up. When people ask what I do, that's what I say. I'm the guy on the unicorn throwing the money up, And so that certainly is part of it. But honestly, I find that this lifestyle of manifestation sometimes brings up a whole lot more stuff that we might prefer to not be quite so aware of.
Right.
So how do you balance that? Because it's not just the good stuff. It kind of requires you to really show up.
Yeah.
How do you balance that?
Oh, venting sessions with my yeah, like honestly, just talking to my like-minded friends, like you, because like you said, with manifesting, you just don't know. Once you tap into that, and once you put your faith in God, like all the way, He's like, all right,
yes,
let me take the wheel. Now I'm going with this thing. Like, and you
have you going on off-road terrain, honey.
Oh my goodness. So, yes, when that happens, there are a lot of tears, there are a lot of frustrations, but just remembering and keeping in mind what the ultimate goal is. I like to come out, yes, daily. But just keeping in mind like what the ultimate goal is, I think that's what really helps balance it out. And also for me, it's my dreams.
Yes.
I have very vivid dreams, and God plays future scenarios out to me in dreams, and I write them down. And recently, or since I moved out here, dreams that I had in Nebraska have come to life now, and I've already seen it. So that's kind of how I'm able to keep it balanced.
Okay. And I find it so funny because my tribe is filled with the most magical, mystical folks just out here sprinkling their fairy dust all over the world, and it's always been like that. I've always attracted people to me, and clients who have these spiritual gifts that they really just haven't learned how to tap into yet. So tell me about how, because now you have CL Branding Agency, and again, you are out there taking over the PR and branding world. So tell me about how spirituality and manifestation plays a role in your business and you as an entrepreneur.
Making God my business partner.
Pow, that let me put this on the screen, honey. Yes.
Making God my business partner. And I say that because, when you start a business, we tend to follow like the formal teachings of what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And I'm not a conventional type individual. Like when God leads me, sometimes He has us do stuff in ways that we don't deem is necessarily correct. But when I go into these meetings, I pray before these meetings that they go well. Before walking in, asking God to give me the gift of discernment. Because sometimes you'll go into these things thinking it's a good partnership. The money may sound right. The additional connections that you could make from that partnership might sound good. But the energy that you felt with that person or those people may not sit well with you. Not that they're bad, but it could just be that something's not connecting or something's not right. So yeah, that's
okay. So make God your business partner.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it.
Like, I think I've learned to talk to him as if he's right here, like physically. So sometimes, somebody might be driving by me in the car and I'm like, yeah, God. So, and they're like, who is she talking to? But, when you practice that and you're able to do that, you keep him with you at all times, and that lets him know that, okay, he or she is putting me first. So feed that into my child.
Absolutely. And that really is what it's about, is a lot of times, we go to God asking like bad little children, and we have no connection.
Yeah.
And so we're begging and we're like, well, God, please do this. And even talking about the begging, just to kind of go off on a bit of a tangent, one thing I teach when I discuss manifestation is you ask one time. You don't need to ask God 25 million gazillion times for the same thing. If you believe that it's going to happen, you ask one time in faith, and you trust that God is going to bring what you're asking to fruition. But a lot of times when you don't have that faith and you don't have that relationship and that connection, of course you keep calling him. That's like you that girlfriend who really don't know your man, and you always calling him like, baby, where you at? Why you not calling me? Knowing that he works 60 hours a week. Where am I? I'm working. Of course I still love you, but when you have that connection and that relationship with someone, and that you can trust him. And so, one thing that I talk about when we get into manifestation is having that unwavering faith, and really being able to know beyond a shadow of a doubt, like you said, looking back in the past and saying, I went through this and God worked it out. I went through this and God worked it out. So I can trust and know and have faith that this thing I'm asking for, even if it seems impossible, I know God can do it, not only because somebody told me, but because I have a personal relationship to know that's how my baby get down. How would you say your relationship with God and your ability to really trust God to work things out for you, how has that changed since you started getting into manifestation? Because like you said in the beginning, a lot of people, one of the main things I hear from folks is, well, that's not in the Bible, which you need to read again, because actually it is asking you shall receive, seeking you shall find, knock and it will be opened unto you, amongst other things. The fact that you will receive exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can ask or think. There are many scriptures that tell us about God's provision, but again, when you don't have that relationship, it's hard to see God as a provider. So sorry, kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but since you've gotten into manifestation, how has that changed your relationship with God?
It's made it a lot stronger. So strong, I can't stop it. Like, so strong that I've walked into this door and I can't get out, which is okay. When you mix God and spirituality together, and I say God and spirituality because there are people who believe in God, but they don't necessarily have that spiritual relationship. So take knowing God, his word, and mixing it with your spiritual relationship with him and those spiritual experiences, it makes it even more powerful because you're letting him into you. You're letting him work you. So since starting manifesting everything, God has, oh my God, he's opened my eyes to things. Like he's made me understand that, and I hope some people don't take this the wrong way, but he's bigger than religion.
Yes, honey, preach it.
I'm being touched right now.
I'm just saying, honey, you are speaking the language of this page. So anyone who hasn't checked out this page, welcome.
He's bigger than religion. Religion is definitely a box. Religion is a practice. Religion is a business. Religion is a control. When you understand that God is way bigger than that, you're able to see that God works in so many ways. He works through you. He works through manifesting. He works through dreams. He works through nature. He works through signs.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is connected because God created it. So
yeah.
realize that, you realize the power of everything that is around you. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything is for the greater good. And in your own personal world, everything you experience as an individual is for your greater good. So he's really been speaking to me through relationships, through dreams, and just allowing me to see that you may not think you got something out of this, but I promise you later down the line, it'll flick a switch off in your mind. You're able to understand why I did that. And just an example, me being out here in LA and encountering people in certain situations, I'm already able to identify the wolf in sheep's clothing because I already experienced it before I came out here in another situation. So it's just preparation for everything else that you'll encounter.
Yes. And I love that. The fact that sometimes the hardship is just preparation. And again, that's why it's so important to trust the process. And so I want to say, for those who are watching, if God has given you a vision and that vision seems like it's bigger than you and you have no idea how it's going to happen, never give up on your dreams. Did you ever imagine that this is the life you would be living, Ciara? I mean, of course you imagined it, and I know it's what you wanted, but did you think it would happen?
No. I mean, I did. But when you think about it, or you think about the time and effort it's going to take, you kind of just go, I know I want it. And you might write it down or manifest it, but then you're like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. But honestly, to this day, sometimes like when I'm driving and then I'm driving on the interstate and I'll see like Los Angeles exit or something, I'll be like, I'm really here. Like, I really do.
Yes.
So I mean, sometimes I'm like, I can believe it, but honestly, like I have so much further I want to go. But if you would have told me in college at 25, you'll be living in LA doing X, Y, Z, I would have been like, oh, really? How is this about to happen?
Absolutely. And that's a really good point, is because we're always looking for the how, and the how is not our business. So one of the assignments you mentioned that I gave you early on was your manifestation list. And anybody who is watching this and you want a quick tip for manifesting, this is a game changer. So essentially, you write out a list of what you are manifesting into your life. And at the top of your sheet, you'll write, my life is so happy now that, and then you fill in the blank. Now that I am living in LA, running my business, out here running things. Now that I am successful, now that I have peace, whatever you want to fill that in, my life is so happy now that. And I have my clients read it every day, but after a while you read it and you get used to what you're seeing on there. And so you don't even realize when the things start to show up in your life, like, oh, wait, that's on my list. Right. And so one thing I have you do is go back a month later and look at what you have manifested. on that list, when you've done one of the manifestation lists or a vision board or something like that, what's been like the one thing, if you had to just pick one thing that just blew your mind when you realized it was something you asked for?
Oh my God. It honestly it comes back to moving to LA.
Okay.
The one thing that stands out is I did my second vision board. So I did this October of 2013, or actually, yeah, October 2013, or no, 14, 14. And I had so much stuff on there. I had stuff regarding my career. But one thing I put on there is that you're moving to Los Angeles, California. And on the other side of the vision board, I had this date, March 25th, and I couldn't understand. So finally, when I moved to LA, I looked at that vision board and I said, oh my God, like, I put you're moving to Los Angeles, California. And that was so long ago, October, where it wasn't in my mind so much. It was just like, oh, I would love to move to LA one day. Not that I was trying to speed up the process. It was just kind of whatever. But the March 25th blew me away because my first apartment that I got out here, I was signing the lease on March 25th. On the vision board, I had March 25th is the big day. And I'm like, why would I even write that? But you also told me to meditate and to pray before cutting things out, even if I don't understand before writing it down. So that's what I did on that board. And yep, that was the date. Sit out.
Sounds good. I love it. And God always, again, it's always exceedingly and abundantly above what you ask for. So Swaya wants to know, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, wants to know, do you attend church?
Yes, I do attend church. Since I moved out to LA, I've been, very particular about my church home. I did visit this church by the name of One Church LA. You can look them up on YouTube with Pastor Tori Roberts and Sarah Jakes Roberts, and that's TD Jakes' daughter. And they have a really, really good ministry. I've gone there a couple of times, but before moving to LA, I did have a church home. So yeah, I'm always at church. Yeah.
And I was going to say, knowing Ciara and knowing what I know of you, and I think that's kind of where a lot of people think that to have this relationship with God, or to consider yourself spiritual, or even to recognize that God is so much bigger than this box we place God in, it doesn't necessarily mean that you forsake the assembling of yourself with other people who are like-minded. Church certainly has its place. Absolutely. So for those who are watching, who are interested in manifestation, you're like, what is that? I want in. You definitely need to follow my page. And if you are ready to take action and you actually, because one thing that we didn't really have a chance to talk too much about, manifestation isn't just asking for what you want and then it falling out of the sky. You got to put in work. You got to put in work. And so if you are really ready to make a difference in your life, then I would love to talk to you. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to schedule a call with me, but it's bit.ly and then just my name, Benir Pierre. So that is on your screen. Go ahead and schedule a call. I would love to talk to you. So Ciara, you're in LA. CL Brandon Agency is up and popping. Tell us exactly what you do in your business and who you work with.
Yeah, so again, CL Branding Agency is my boutique PR firm that I currently have out here in LA. Right now, I'm working with a startup music company. Can't release that name right now, but they will be launching September of this year, so look out for that. And I'm actually in the midst of bringing on additional clients as well. one being a stylist, and I actually just connected with a model earlier today that's looking for PR assistant. So within this past year, I've really been focusing on this music company, but now I'm ready to take it to new levels because I've noticed there are a lot of publicists and a lot of people with titles out here in LA who don't necessarily fulfill the role as they should. So I'm always up for a challenge. So we're just working on additional clients here within the next month or so.
Okay, and I love the way that you so politely just put that. So for people who have watched this broadcast and they have fallen in love with you the same way I did the very first time I talked to you, how can we find you online? How can we follow what you got going on?
Yes, so you can add my business page on Instagram. It's at CLBRANDNGAGNCY, and that goes for my Twitter as well. So that's CLBRANDNGAGNCY. So that's Instagram and Twitter. If you'd like to follow my personal accounts, that is at CIARALLEE, and that is for Twitter and Instagram, as well as YouTube, just my full name, Ciara Lee.
Okay, very good. And I just dropped that in the comments for anybody who is watching. So we have a few seconds left. What tips do you give someone who has this really amazing vision and it seems too big? It's something they've wanted to do since they were a kid, but nobody in their life is doing it, and it seems a little impossible right now. What tip do you have for them?
One, believe in God, because nothing is impossible. Nothing is too big. If something is too big, your relationship with God needs to become a little bit stronger. Remember that people in higher places that you look up to were once in a position that you were in. And they were amongst individuals who didn't necessarily see them excelling or, being as big as they are. So just understand that you are as powerful as someone else, and just put in action to what you want to create. If you have a huge idea, write it down. Don't think that you have to do it all at once, because things do take time, but, manage those steps and create a schedule so you can lead yourself to accomplishing that goal.
I love that. I love it. Nothing is impossible. Believe that you can do it, and you can. And the people that you're looking up to, the people that you call your guru, were once where you are and sometimes still might be. So honey, be your own guru. Be your own hero of your story and manifest that shit. Thank you so much, Ciara, for joining me tonight. It is always, always a pleasure when I have the chance to sit down and chat with you. And everybody else, be sure to tune back in next Wednesday. We are here every single Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to tune in. Be sure to like the fan page. And then again, if you want to book a call with me, I will leave that information in the comments. If you want to look up Ciara, check out her YouTube, see what she has going on. I'll also leave that information in the comments. Thank you guys again, and you have an amazing rest of your night. Make your dreams come true.